Top left, it's recording. If you want to pause at any stage, just press that, and it should say record top left. Okay? So your hitch, obviously this is what secures your van to your car, or to your tow ball. That is the locking handle there. So that locks it, once the tow ball is obviously in there, that will lock it on. Obviously you'll see that when we connect it to. This here is what is called a stabilising hitch. Okay? Obviously with the caravan you've always got that danger of movement. Okay? You're pitching your in because of obviously movement as you're driving down the road. What that does is slows it down. So what it actually uses is there's little pads inside that uses friction on your tow ball to slow that movement down. Okay?
Automatically.
Yeah. So it just grips the ball. That's what it does. It just grips the ball and just slows that movement down. It has also got ATC, which is trailer control, which is this. This is the indicator light here. Yeah. Which is all part of stabilisation as well. And what that does is actually apply the brakes. If it feels that movement, which is obviously a dangerous movement for caravans, if it starts wagging the tail as such, or snaking as they call it, obviously you get into a dangerous situation. That there is a system where it actually applies the brakes to slow the caravan down. So if you imagine the car and the caravan start doing that, the car and the caravan's that kind of angle, what it does is apply the brakes on the caravan, then the car just pulls it straight. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
So that there is an indicator light, is when you plug it into your car, which is usually 12 volts off your car. As soon as you plug it in, you'll hear it do a self-test, which obviously I'll show you when we do that. It's got the indicator light here, turns green, goes solid green, that means, okay, it's checked it, it's okay, it's ready to go. If it's flashing green, it hasn't quite completed its test. Normally by driving from here to the gate, it will complete its test and go solid green. If it goes red, then that means obviously problem. Obviously what you can try and do is unplug your electrics and re-plug them in again, see if it resets. If not, again obviously someone's going to have a look at it. Yeah. Just check to see if it'll move, because then you can, if it does move, obviously you can still drive with it, but the system won't be working. Okay, yeah. So you obviously have to take extra care when you're driving with that, without it. Also, if it's flashing red light, as I said, it operates off the brakes. Flashing red light is likely it actually has applied the brakes. Right. So again, you can unplug your plug, see if it will reset, and plug it back in, obviously. See if it'll move. If it won't move, obviously the brakes have been set. So you're going to need someone out to reset it for you. Okay? Yeah. Okay, what we also got on the A-frame.
Problem on the...
You don't tend to, yeah. But obviously, it's a simple system. Yeah. Obviously, as anything is electronic, obviously you can have faults the same in your car. Okay. Obviously, handbrake. Obviously, you need to make sure that's secure, so you don't want that wandering off when you're on the pitch, or when you're moving it around. Obviously, you need to take the handbrake off. Obviously. Yeah. Jockey wheel. Obviously, use that to obviously get it off the car, and then you can manoeuvre it around by hand if you wanted to. Also, it's there. You can use it as to raise or lower the nose to level it as well. Yeah. Okay, I'll explain that in a second. Clamp. So that clamp there, obviously, is to secure that. Yeah. Make sure that is tight, because we've had one or two recently who've got it off the car, and it's gone, boom, dropped down onto the jockey wheel, and obviously imagine this, it's quite, it's not the strongest of plastics, you've got the whole weight of the caravan dropping onto that, it can shatter. So make sure that is tight. Make sure before you go in, you put the legs down, so obviously the legs will support it then. Okay?
So when you want to wind that, you need to undo that?
No. You can wind that up or down at any stage, but this pulls up for transport. So you put it down, then clamp it. Yeah. Obviously, when you pull it up for travelling, you clamp it as well. Obviously, and I'll show you that when we put it on the car, because obviously it's easier than where we're at the moment. Make sure that's tight. Right. Okay, 13-pin plug. Okay, for your electrics, you've got a 2 7-pin. There's no problem. Obviously, you're going to need an adapter to operate from this to that. Okay. With a 13-pin, you've got to be very careful when you're taking it out. Okay, if you don't turn it correctly, if you don't turn it fully, I should say, to the left and then pull it out. If you try and say halfway and pull it, this can underline this here. Yeah. So that centerpiece actually moves when you plugging it in. If you misalign it, obviously it's nearly impossible to get it back in again.
But there is a tool. Way though, will it?
Yeah, there's only one way it'll go. Yeah. So I'll show you. Obviously, you're going to need an adapter, obviously, to connect it. I'll show you when we connect it to the adapter.
Have you got an adapter?
I haven't, no, but they will have in the shop.
They will have, yeah.
But obviously, I haven't got an adapter myself. So there is a tool inside there, which I'll show you when we're inside, that can actually realign it if you do accidentally get it out of line. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and that sits neatly back in there. Okay,
Yeah.
so you've got your gas locker. Obviously this way you can store up to 2 gas bottles if you want to. I've connected to our gas at the moment. Obviously we've got things up and running inside. Obviously I will connect your gas afterwards once we've finished.
Yeah.
Okay. With this one, obviously it's important that you turn the gas off when you're travelling. Don't have that fully open.
Yeah.
Okay, so always turn that off when you're travelling. And if you see that there, it's a hand wheel, so it's hand type wheel. So when you get to site, make sure that is tight before you start.
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause it's not a spanner type one. Okay. There is also an on-off there, but we don't tend to use that. The only it is there mainly for the service guys when they're checking the pressures in it. Why I tend to use that is you can it turns the gas off. It's not as good as obviously turning that off.
Yeah.
If you're changing cylinders, obviously that will hold the gas in the system. You switch that off. Obviously disconnect this, put it onto your other one, connect it back up again, then you can turn that back on.
Yeah.
Obviously the pressure's still in the system then. Okay.
Yeah.
So you only turn that off when you're changing the bottle?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I do.
And when it's parked up, when we're not using it, just turn the gas bottle
Yeah,
off.
just turn the gas bottle off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So when we get onto, obviously you get to your site. Obviously you get your van onto your pitch. First thing you need to do is make sure it's level side to side.
Yeah.
Okay. So normally you'll still be attached to your car at this stage. Okay. So if you look at it and it's down one side or the other, obviously you're going to need to level it.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of the times you go on, a lot of the sites they'll have a hard standing pitches, which tend to be level side to side.
Yeah.
Okay, but obviously grass can be whatever. Okay, so say if this side was slightly down, obviously you're going to need to lift it up.
Yeah.
The way you lift it up is either you can use wooden blocks, so you can drive it or reverse it onto wooden blocks, or you can get these plastic ramps.
Yeah.
You can reverse them up. It just brings that up level.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously
Yeah.
you need to do that when you've got it attached to the car because you're not going to push it up.
No.
Unless you're on a bit of a slope, you might be able to ramp it up, but you're going to need the blocks and use your vehicle. Okay. Once you've got it level, obviously you need a spirit level.
Yeah.
It's obviously very useful so you can see
Yeah.
when it is level as well. The reason for getting it level, obviously one is he sinks. And obviously if you've got plug hole this side and it's leaning that way, it's not going to go down the plug hole, is it? And it's obviously drainage as well.
Yeah.
Also, appliances like the fridge don't like being on an angle. They like to be level when you're operating. Okay?
Yeah.
So once you've got it level, if you need to, obviously you need to then remove the car off the front of the caravan. Okay, by using your jockey wheel to lift it off the back of the tow bar, and obviously you need to level it up front to back then.
Yeah.
Okay, so all you do again using a spirit level, you just wind the jockey wheel up or down, nose up, nose down,
Yeah.
and that will get it level that way then. Okay.
Yeah.
The next thing to do is to get the steadies down, so the legs down in each corner. So you've got one in each corner. There's your front one there, front one on the other side, and you've got the two actually at the back, which are down at the moment.
Yeah.
What you do, just wind them down. They're not there for lifting the van, they're just there to steady it. They're
Yeah.
actually called steadies. So they're, obviously when you're in it, you don't want them bouncing all over the place. So as you wind them down to the ground, what I tend to do is just do that. If it's still moving a bit like that, obviously it just wants a bit more of a turn
Yeah.
to make sure it's secure. Okay?
Yeah.
So once you've done that's it, that's ready then to start connecting things. Okay, so normally one of the first things you connect is obviously your water.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your pump. Well, it's not your pump, sorry, it's a pipe. The pump is on board. And see that? Obviously all it is a filter at the end of it. Just make sure you straighten it out because sometimes, got water in the back of my neck there, I don't know how I managed to do that. What we tend to do is curl it up and put it in a sink, most people do. And obviously if you're not careful, when you put it in the Aquaroll, it can do that. And it starts sucking the air out the top of the Aquaroll instead of the water. So just straighten it out before you put it in. It just clicks in. Okay, to take it out, just pull that trigger, pull back and it pulls it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously you need a full Aquaroll obviously before you start. That there is your vent for your boiler and your hot water system. Hot water and your heating system, sorry. On gas, so obviously don't cover that up.
Yeah.
Obviously then it won't work otherwise if you do. Okay, battery. Obviously the van runs on 12 volt systems throughout it. Obviously it's the battery so you can run without 240 if you want to. Obviously most sites have 240 connection anyway. So
Can you use 240 equipment in the caravan?
you can if you're plugged into 240, not if you're on just battery. Okay. If you're on just battery, you're going to be using gas mainly for your heating, and for your cooking and
I was
everything.
thinking of a TV or something like that.
Yeah, you can run 12. You can get 12 volt TVs.
Right.
But obviously, depending on how big your battery is, obviously that's like a small battery. It's not going to last that long if you just flat out, switch everything on.
Yeah.
So if we're on a site, we can plug into 240.
Yeah, plug into 240.
Right.
Normally if you pay for your pitch, you pay for the electric with that pitch, normally. So it's always best to plug in. And
we could use a 240 volt till you.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay, when you plug it into 240, or when you're plugging the cable in, always plug to your caravan first. Unravel all your cable and then plug it into the bollard last. Okay, if you do it the other way round, you plug it into the bollard first, you're carrying a live cable across wet grass. Obviously you could get a shock, so best to plug it into your caravan, then your bollard, and obviously the opposite way round when you pack it up to go home. What you've also got in your locker there is the TV aerial point, if you can see that there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Some of these sites do have, on the bollards, that you actually have an aerial point where you can actually connect straight to the caravan if you want to, or if you've got a satellite dish. Some people have portable satellite dishes they can plug into as well. Okay? Right.
What's that?
Oh, that's your radio aerial.
Oh,
so it's just, a bit sort of like the old style car rails, I suppose.
There's a TV, there's one.
Yeah, you have got a TV aerial as well. So that just pops out. To be quite honest, I've never actually popped my aerial out, because most of the time it's a decent signal anyway.
Yeah.
It's very rare that I've actually pulled the aerial out. Okay?
Yeah.
Obviously, if you do pull the aerial out, make sure you put it back again once you finish when it's time to go home, because you don't want that flapping about. Hey, wastewater. Okay, with that, obviously, water from your sinks, your shower, all coming to them 2 points there.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously you obviously got a waste master. So as you put that alongside, you've got pipes that just plug into there, plug into your waste master, and then obviously it just drains straight into there.
Yeah.
So obviously again, that's another reason why it needs to be level. Obviously allows all the water to drain out the pipes easily. Okay.
Yeah.
Toilet. Okay. So what we've got here, this here is the reservoir for the toilet flush. Okay. So normally we put a pink chemical in there, a small amount of pink chemical, which obviously makes it smell nice, and the water tops it up with water. Okay, the only time you know that that's full is when you can see it through the hole. The only time you know it's empty is when you're flushing and there's nothing coming out.
Yeah.
So that's just the clean water as such, okay, for flushing. This is your waste cassette. Okay, it's got a handle. So obviously also got wheels as well.
Yeah.
To wheel it to wherever you want to go to empty it. Obviously normally there's chemical points obviously on site. Normally we put a blue chemical in the bottom of it. Obviously you got a measuring cup there, look.
Yeah.
So you put a certain amount of that in there, and around about, they reckon 2 litres of water, which is quite a bit of water to be honest, but that's what they recommend. So you put that in before you use it, okay, so that will help break down the nasty stuff when you go to empty it. When you go to empty it, normally it's a big funnel with a brick wall around it. Whatever you do not put that on top of the brick wall when you go to empty it.
Yeah.
If you go and knock that down that hole, one, you're not going to be fishing it back out again, because you probably can't get to it anyway. And plus the warden's not going to be happy, you just probably blocked his sewer system, so make sure you put it on the floor behind you, out of the way. You're unlikely to lose it. What we got here, when you're emptying it, there's an air bleed button there, so it allows it to come out easier.
Yeah.
Okay, you can access inside if you want to. Okay, you can access it through there to clean it if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay, just make sure that is shut and that's back in position for when you put it back in. You can also clean by just putting water in there and just sloshing it around. Just don't thrash it around, because there's a little float inside there that indicates that the waste tank's full. If you go and thrash that around, that gets down the empty point. It's not
And how does that get filled?
Filled with what? What, from the toilet seat? It automatically, when I push that back in there, it'll be sitting underneath the bowl as such. And it's got a mechanism on the toilet, which I'll show you, which actually opens that up. Automatic.
Yeah.
By hand inside.
I got you.
Okay. When you come to take that out, it's not coming easy. So if it's going down and sticking, the likelihood is the wastegate, which is on the toilet itself, has been left open. So
Yes.
make sure that is shut before you pull it out. So if it isn't coming out, right, push it back in, go inside, just check. Probably will need shutting. Then you obviously then it should come out easy. Okay.
Yeah.
Underneath here, on a little plastic shelf, is a drain. That's a drain for your flush tank. So obviously caravans don't like water when it's really cold inside. If you've got it in storage over winter, make sure you drain all the water out. Obviously that's the one for the flush tank. Best thing to do is flush it also. So if you've got a certain level in there already, flush it out using the button, obviously into your waste tank or another container if you want to keep it. And then the operation of obviously operating the pump is actually draining the water out the pump as well, so you haven't got water stuck in there